It's already August and I'm still on the hunt for the perfect sewing pattern for a breastfeeding-friendly top. I've tried a few this summer. I love them all. However, they've all used some sort of ties to close them, and my sweet little baby has discovered how much fun it is to untie a bow. So somebody suggested this next pattern to me, and I can see why. You may have seen it before, maybe you've sewn it, let me know. It's the Poppy Top by Summer House. This is a really smart design for summer because instead of the panels being attached on the sides, they overlap underneath the armholes and then they're totally open on the sides, but the fabric kind of like covers things. So I think this is going to be really comfortable for hot summer heat because of the breezy design, but also then I can lift the front panel. My daughter can nuzzle up under there and nurse. I'm very excited to try this, but also I've been dreaming of making a matching set. I haven't done that yet in my sewing journey, and so I'm going to make a pair of pants to go with these. This is going to be my third pair of Arthur pants. You may have seen my Arthur pants video, but instead of doing the full elastic all the way around, I'm going to do the button and fly with the pleats on the front and elastic on the back. So I'm very excited. This is going to be my first time ever working with a zipper, so we'll see how that goes. If we haven't met before, my name is Emily. I'm a new mom, and I started sewing my postpartum Me Made wardrobe at the beginning of the summer. It's been really fun. I hated all the clothes in my closet and I needed to do something about it, and this was my much more labor-intensive solution to that problem. So anyway, let's jump in and start sewing. We've only just begun, and I was so excited to come on here and brag about how little fabric I used for this pattern. Before I tell you what went wrong, the Arthur pants called for 3.1 meters of fabric, and the Poppy Top was 1.5 meters, and I managed to fit all of my pattern pieces into, what was it, 3 plus a little bit of meters. So I was feeling really good about myself. I did the cutting off camera and I was like, wow, I should have filmed that. It's amazing that I did that. I've already found my mistake. Instead of leaving my fabric folded so I can cut like the pieces that needed 2 at a time, I opened it up, and when I did that, I didn't flip my pattern pieces for the right and the left side so that I could have mirror images. I cut it the exact same way. So instead of having 2 front panels that are mirrored, I cut like this. So I have like 2 like this instead of 2 like this. Does that make sense? Sorry, I'm a visual person. I don't know how to use words. What does that mean? First off, I need to see how many pieces were impacted by this. I already know that the main pant legs have been impacted by this. There may be some other smaller pieces. That means I need to go buy more fabric. I was planning on getting the pants more or less sewn together today. I'm gonna start with the top. Forget the Arthur pants for now. We're gonna work on the Poppy Top. Step 1 is stay stitching, which is where you essentially just sew a line really close to the edge so that your fabric doesn't like stretch or unravel, and it helps with like more delicate materials. So that's what I'm doing. Now we're on to the next step, pressing. But I wanted to say thank you for the feedback on my last video. If you didn't see it, my machine was making kind of a weird noise, and I couldn't tell if it was just me, but you all confirmed that it did not sound good. So before every project, including the last one, I changed the needle, and so I don't think it was that. I could have been using the wrong needle for the fabric because it was my first time working with rayon. I was still using a universal needle, so I don't know if there's something better. I should probably look into it. But while I brush like the obvious like fuzz and stuff off of my machine pretty regularly, I hadn't gone underneath of the like whatever the plate is called that goes under the needle. I hadn't gone underneath there, and so I did that, and I think it helped a little bit, but I think what I'm going to do is take my machine to the Singer store where I got it from. Unfortunately, because it's August, I live in a country where everything closes for the month of August. So, yeah, so in September, I will take it to the Singer store and talk to the owner about it and see what she thinks. And we'll go from there. Okay, I wanted to do a quick try on. This is the only one I'm really gonna do because I feel like I should like wait to like show you the final result till the end when I have the pants done too. But look at how we're looking. I love it. I'm so happy with my fabric choice. To be honest, I don't even know what the fiber is. I didn't ask at the shop and it wasn't labeled on the bolt. So when I go back to get more for my freaking pants, I will find out what it is. But yeah, it just has such a nice drape to it. I think this is like really perfect for this style of top. So I think this is gonna be so fun. I didn't mention this before. I wanted to share a note about sizing. I believe this pattern goes up to a 20. I will correct myself if I'm wrong, but I made a size 10. My measurements fell perfectly within a size 10. But if you want to see my full notes on this top, what I liked, what I didn't like, my measurements, how I determined sizing, and the adjustments I made to the pattern, I have a free post on my Patreon. I do that for all of my garments. I started just like sharing my notes there because I needed a place to refer to them when I go back and redo a pattern, but now you can see that as well. So check that out. I have a lot of great content on Patreon, weaving tutorials, notes about creativity. I didn't mention this, but my background's in weaving. You may have noticed something like this. I also wrote a book called Amazing Circular Weaving, so if you want to learn more about that, also check out my Patreon. Anyway, let's get back to sewing. So I was just working on getting the panels lined up for the underarms, and there's a note in the pattern to like try it on at this stage, and so I just did, and I noticed that the way the like fabric was laying on the bust wasn't quite right. There was like some bunching at the sides, and the pattern suggested just like moving the panels a little bit. So obviously you like line up the notches, or I don't know, if you do a lot of sewing you know this, but I made mine, I like moved them like a 1/4 inch in, so they're like crossing over just a little bit more, and it's perfect now. This is like such an easy adjustment to get the fit right. And I if you've watched my other videos for the tops, I'm always like trying to like figure out darts and whatever because I'm just in this like breastfeeding stage. I'm extra busty. Part of this like experience of sewing my own clothes is I'm trying to like make things that like fit really well. I'm just learning a ton, and I can't tell you how much these little details mean to me. I'm really enjoying this summer house pattern, and I'm sure I'm going to be making more of these poppy tops, but I'm going to have to look at their other patterns as well. So anyway, okay, let's sew now. This is most assuredly not an unpopular opinion, but I'm going to say it anyway. I hate doing bias binding. I liked it at first, but then it's just so finicky. And also I have to say, I was doing really great with this fabric, and yeah, I'm just like struggling a bit with making bias binding out of this fabric. So anyway, I just finished my poppy top. I'm gonna wait to try it on until I finish my Arthur pants, but I have to say I'm pretty pleased with how this turned out. I'll give you a little preview. Ooh. So cute. I actually have yet to try it on myself. I'm just trimming the little strings now, but I'm at the end of my time for today. Have to say, it feels really good to make a garment start to finish in one day. That's my first time doing that. Before I come to the studio next, I need to go shopping to get some more of this fabric, to get a zipper. I think I also need some more elastic, and then we'll start working on these Arthur pants. So, see you soon. And we're back. I went to the fabric store and I bought 1 meter of brown fabric to recut the pieces I didn't mirror previously, and it was the perfect amount, so that was good. The other thing that was good and that I didn't think about till I went to the fabric store is that I mentioned things close here in August, and the fabric store is going to be one of those places. They're going to be closed for 2 weeks, so I got there just in time to get my remaining fabric, to get a zipper, to get some elastic. So I should be good to go for the rest of the month with projects to work on. But yeah, that's just living in Cyprus. The back is done. I have pockets, and I did my first felled seam with this fabric, and not so bad, not so bad. Let's keep going. Wait, have I ever done a video from this angle in my studio? Gosh, this used to be like the focus in my studio when I was like weaving lots of big things like this blue piece. I would film everything there, but I guess for these sewing videos I haven't done that in a while. And now I'm at a step that is for view A, which is the zipper and fly, button and fly variation that I've never done before. So I'm doing something new. I'm so nervous about the zipper. The one I bought is too long because that's what the store had. Yeah, so let's see about this. So it says, place zipper right side up on the fly extension. This is the fly extension, okay? With the edge of the zipper line like this, like this. Oh no, I think I need to watch some videos. Well, I am actually out of time today. I need to go watch some videos about shortening my zipper and also sewing my zipper. I think it's pretty straightforward, but I just want to be sure I know what I'm doing. I was working on another project too, so that's not like all I did in the studio today. But yeah, anyway, I'll be back and hopefully finish these pants up and get to wear them. I'm back. Okay, so I did a little zipper research, and after watching several videos and seeing lots of ways that people deal with shortening zippers, I decided to just go with the advice of the woman at the fabric store that I bought the zipper from, and where I wanted my zipper to end, I just used a basting stitch and stitched back and forth over the part of the zipper. You see that brown line? Zoom in, Emily. I'm just gonna go with that, and there's gonna be a little tail hanging in the inside, and I'm fine with that. Maybe that's not the best way to do it. How do you shorten your zippers? Has anybody done this technique before and had success? I'm gonna try it. It's my first time. I'm not gonna make it overly complicated. We'll keep going. Oh my God, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? I don't know if I'm doing this right. I watched a video and that's not how the Arthur tutorials seem to go. Okay. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Oops. Okay. I think that's how the instructions said to do it. We'll find out. Okay, I just kind of blacked out. I was like reading the written instructions and then I was watching the instructional video and I was getting too confused. It was too much information. And so I just kind of went rogue and I think I did it. Ooh. Okay, does that look right? It got a little wonky here, but there's all this embroidery and that can be a little difficult to sew. And I also haven't pressed the inseam. Probably shouldn't have skipped that. Anyway, I'm gonna do that next. I just freehanded that. That looks good. I think so far so good. Let's move on. It's a little while later. I really just needed to concentrate and because I'm trying to finish up these pants today. It's not looking good, but that's okay. So one thing I did differently is I'm just really struggling with this fabric. When I went back to the fabric store and bought another meter of it, I asked like what the makeup was, and it's 100% polyester, which I probably wouldn't have bought it if I had known that. But it is good for me to like try sewing with it and seeing that it's a nightmare in addition to it being plastic. But it's making the felled seams really difficult. So I abandoned felled seams and I'm just doing French seams. I did it on the inside of the pant and I did like an extra, let me see if I can show you. I did like an extra top stitching to like make it really strong because I think that was the point of the felled seams. So then what I started working on was the waistband. So I attached, it's in like 3 different pieces. I sewed those all together and I'm getting that attached to the waistband of the pants. I am really excited to wear these. I made some adjustments from the last time I made them. I sized down. I also probably cut the fabric a little wonky again because this is very difficult to work with fabric. And yeah, anyway, lesson learned. I do need to be more careful about checking the fabric compositions for my notes as well, just so I know what I'm working on and like what kind of experience I have with different fabrics. So anyway, I'm just gonna keep sewing and we'll see how far I can get. That's a wrap on today. I got the waistband on. I did notice that I accidentally sewed through a layer of fabric you weren't supposed to. Look at that. So I do need to seam rip that when I come back and fix that part, but otherwise it's looking really good. And yeah, these pants are so cute. I'm excited to wear them. I'll see you next time. I'm back. It's a new day. I'm ready to just go ahead and finish up these Arthur pants. So enough talking, let's get to it. So I wasn't gonna do any try-ons of the pants because I wanted it to be a surprise, but I'm doing one try-on. I'm only gonna show you the back because I'm considering taking the back pockets off. So here we go in the mirror. Let me zoom in on my booty. I mean, tell me what you think. Should I take the pockets off or should I leave them? I mean, obviously I'll already make a decision. Sorry for the weird camera angle. I guess I'll already make a decision before you can tell me, but Anyway, let me know what you think. Is thread chicken a thing like yarn chicken is? Because I have literally this much to sew before the pants are done, and I ran out of bobbin thread, and I don't even have another bobbin threaded with this brown thread. Oh, that's okay, we're almost done. Let me do this. Here we go. That's a wrap. You can see I'm wearing my poppy top. I also have my Arthur pants on. I'll show you the full fit in just a minute, but before we get to that, here's what went well and what didn't go so well. First, I have to say the experience of sitting down and sewing a garment from start to finish like I did with this poppy top was a really good feeling. That was my first time doing that, and it makes me want to make another poppy top just because of that. And I also have a really nice white linen I think would be good. And this really is the perfect breastfeeding friendly top. It kind of serves as a cover while I'm breastfeeding as well, and so I think this will be a great addition to my wardrobe for the remainder of my breastfeeding journey. However, I will say the style is not my favorite on me. At the beginning of making my postpartum wardrobe, I said I didn't want anything boxy, and this isn't boxy exactly, but it's definitely leaning towards a boxier style. That's not my favorite look for me, especially because I like a big flowy pant, and to have flowy on top and flowy on the bottom is a bit much. So I don't know how much I'll be wearing this when I'm done breastfeeding. I'm not sure if it'll like suit me then, but for now I think it's really great, and I will be making another one. Overall, I would say the poppy top is such a sweet and clean design. I think this would be a great option for a lot of people who are breastfeeding or who just like the style of the top. I highly recommend making this pattern. It was really easy and really fun, even in this tricky fabric, which we'll get more to in a minute with the Arthur pants. Speaking of the Arthur pants, overall, I would say this pair turned out really well. I love the look. I love the button and fly. I love the box pleats. I did end up taking the pockets off the back because it just seemed too casual. They seem like I could potentially like dress them up, wear them with a little heel, and I can see myself getting a lot of wear out of these pants, even more so than the top if I'm being honest. So let's talk about the button and fly. This was tricky. I didn't really nail the buttonhole for this, and I feel like the placement of the waistband was like the waistband was a little bit too long or something. I don't know. It's a little bit awkward. Overall, I think it looks fine, and I'll wear it and nobody will notice the details that I'm noticing. But the next time I go to do a button and fly, whether that's the Arthur pants or another pair of pants, it's just gonna be even better. Now let's talk about the fabric, okay? I accidentally bought polyester, and I will not be doing that again. I just was like mesmerized by the embroidery and really wanted to make this, but sewing this fabric was so difficult. Doing the bias binding on the top, trying to do felled seams. I'm so glad I abandoned those for the French seams because the French seams were easier. Just like trying to press this fabric in general was not fun. What am I doing if I'm not having fun? Anyway, even with the fabric and the difficulty I had sewing this and a few imperfect seams here and there, I am very happy with how this turned out. I'll go ahead and show you now. I think this is such a lovely outfit and a lovely set. Please excuse my shoes in the footage. I really just ran out of the house this morning because I was excited to finish this up. But anyway, if you're still here, thank you so much for watching my video. I am learning a ton about video quality and sound mixing and posting on YouTube in addition to learning how to make clothes. And that's a lot as a new mom. And so all of the support just means a ton. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Until next time, bye.